Hello. In this lesson, I want to discuss some of the basic navigation features in Oracle applications. Once you log into the Oracle applications, you go to the site that you see here, the URL that you've been provided. You put in your user ID and password and sign into the application. Once you sign into the application, you should see a screen similar to what you see below. Yours will vary depending on the roles that you've been assigned. In this orange bar across the top, we have the instance name. In this case, it's CRP1, Conference Room Pilot 1. Later on, it might change to Conference Room Pilot 2, User Acceptance Testing, or System Integration Testing, or even Production. This is here just to indicate the application, the instance that you're in. And this area is a general navigation area. You've got a search feature here. You can search for names. You can search for forms. So if there's any item forms you want to get to, you could get to it here. These icons off to the right, you have the home icon. Anytime you click that, it should take you to this screen, which is your original logon screen. This is the favorites icon. If you click on that icon, you can see the different favorites that you've either assigned yourself, or in most cases, you won't have any here, so you'll have to add some favorites. One of the ones that I particularly like is monitor processes. This is typically found under the tools menu. It's called scheduled processes, but when it shows up under favorites, it's called monitor processes. But it'll get you to the same screen. Here is the watch list icon. If you have any values greater than 0, then you can look and see what those are. Here's an invoice that's on hold that I could go and look at if I wanted to. Here is your notifications. Right now, I don't have any notifications to display. Otherwise, I would see a listing here of things that either require my approval or pending approval, things like that. Under this menu, you'll have access to setup and maintenance, our diagnostics tests. You also have access to applications help, which will bring up another screen, which will get you to the General Help Center for Oracle, where you can search for different things. And it takes you to the documentation for different things in Oracle. Very useful link. Okay, so those are the icons here. These pancakes or hamburger, depending on who you ask, is basically this same navigation that's provided here, except in this vertical display. If you scroll down and go to your tools menu, you'll see you've got quite a few tools, forms that you can access. If you look at tools over here, it's not quite as many. So occasionally you'll be directed to use this menu as opposed to this one. Otherwise, almost everything you need to access can be found in the menu bar across the top. If you're using the supply chain applications, those applications are supply chain execution, product management, supply chain planning, procurement, and order management. Depending on which application you go into, for instance, let's go into product management, and let's go into product information management. In this screen, it comes up with what's called info tiles. Right now, there's not a lot of data in the system, so you've got no data available and zeros in all the infolets. As we get more data in the system, these will start to populate more. On this type of screen, you're going to pay attention to the icons to the right. This first icon is known as your task icon. And takes you to the different forms within the item management application. You can also do a search if you wanted to search for a particular phrase. And you can access it that way as well. You have a clipboard feature. Right now there's nothing in the clipboard. And you have reports and analytics. And we have a few reports under your shared reports folder. Well, not in this application. And I think under some of the others you do. Go back to the tasks menu and let's go into the create item form. Here you get a pop-up window. You can put in the number of items you're wanting to create. You can select the template of choice to apply. Click OK. And it will take you to this form, which is the create item form. You can put in your item number, description, status. A lot of the things will default, and the template that you selected would be applied, and you could create your item. You could also go into another form. Oh, I did this wrong. If you're getting out of a form, you should hit cancel. And it will always ask you, are you sure you want to leave? You say yes. And it'll take you back to where you started. And then I can go back to my home page and re-navigate to something else. So say, for instance, I wanted to go into procurement. I could go into my purchase requisitions. It would open. And I could go into perhaps purchase some office supplies. And I can go there. If I wanted to go somewhere else, go back to my home page. Select something else, for instance, order management. I can go here. I get an infolet page, and I could go to create order. And here I can start creating the sales order into the system. So that, that covers some basic general navigation tools that you can use. And hope you find it useful, and I'll talk to you soon.